Today I fucked up by telling my boyfriend I think he has autism. I want to preface this post by saying that I believe that there's nothing wrong with having autism, and people with autism can be extremely smart and amazing individuals. My 26M boyfriend of 3 years and I 23F have been going through a lot of issues. To start, our relationship has always been challenging. We dated for 2 years locally and now we are 1 year into long distance. We have been talking about becoming a more serious couple, starting a family and living together in the next few years. We finally set a date that works best for me to move, this September. Previously we thought it would be sometime early next year, but this works out better for his current lease and my current situation. This set him off as it's pretty close. His initial reaction to me moving in September was extremely worried. He's worried about having to change his current routines to fit me into his life and living situation. He has several symptoms that I've noticed over the 3 years we've dated, a few of which have caused extreme problems in the relationship. Introvert, social anxiety when in unfamiliar settings to the point we have to leave. Lots of anxiety in general. Easily annoyed when disturbed from his routines, everything is on his time. Complete inability to express feelings and emotions and has a difficult time recognizing or understanding others' emotions. Lack of affection and constantly needs to be asked to show affection. Withdraws in any stressful conversation or situation. Very rigid work, food, gym, sleep routine. Extreme interest in a highly specific field of academia that he is highly successful in. Struggles with common sense. You may or may not agree with my conclusions based off of this list. I'm not a doctor, but I have been around him for years and truly think that he may be on the spectrum. We have struggled a lot with his communication and constantly shutting down conversations. Here's where I fucked up. I told him in the most caring and gentle way that I think he may have some symptoms of autism. He became extremely upset and started saying that I think he is ARD. I tried to explain that I don't think that he is dumb and I actually think he is incredibly smart. I tried reassuring him and he said he doesn't want to talk and to leave him alone. I texted him and apologized. I told him it was never my intention to hurt his feelings and that I would love him regardless. I don't know what to do about the situation. I know I fucked up. Honestly, I just didn't know how to bring it up. Or if I was wrong for even thinking this. I feel like shit because I know he thinks I'm a jerk for suggesting it. Advice is welcome. Edit. I intentionally didn't want my post to be super long. I'm getting a lot of comments of people saying that he's just a jerk or that we should break up. He wants me to move in with him. He's a good person and we both love each other. I want to know how I can move forward after this. Edit 2. I want to point out the second to last point on this list. This man is a complete workaholic. His studies completely and utterly consumes his entire life and it's almost all he thinks about. He can't even relax without reading a paper or conference. Edit 3. A lot of you guys are really rude. This isn't anything I would ever show him or bring up because people are so mean to either me or my boyfriend. I appreciate the genuine comments and helping me get some perspective or advice of how to move forward. But if you're going to comment something really negative, maybe just keep it to yourself? Too long did not read. I noticed some symptoms of autism in my boyfriend and brought it up. Now he hates me. Starting a family. He's worried about having to change his current routines to fit me into his life and living situation. Oh boy, is he gonna be in for a surprise. Giphy. 26N6GX9 Malio CGs 1 Puik. Whether or not he has autism is actually kind of besides the point. He wants to delay you moving in together. He's not showing you the affection you've repeatedly asked him for. He won't partake in serious conversations with you. A diagnosis isn't going to change any of that. It sounds like there are a lot of needs that he just isn't meeting or willing to try to meet. Hey Reddit. I want to spend the rest of my life with someone who won't change and can't communicate with me. Giphy. S239 QJIH56 SRW, downsized. Based on that response, he already knew and got upset because you reminded him. ETA. As someone with 2 neurodevelopmental disorders, I genuinely don't think it should be rude to ask someone else who is definitely exhibiting a few symptoms. You either have it or you don't. If you don't, congrats, you got the easier path. If you do, then that won't change regardless of whether you pay it any mind. It's internalized ableism, They don't want something to be wrong with them.
Hey, your list is exactly how my relationship was too.
If he's not autistic, he might be avoidant.
This makes a relationship hard if you can't have serious conversations.
I would really consider whether or not that's something you can really deal with. Good luck with everything. A diagnosis for him will not give you what you need from this relationship. Today I fucked up by taking 2 edibles with my boyfriend.
Title says it.
Boyfriend, M21, and I, F21, both have partaken separately in the distant past but only once or twice. Thought it'd be fun to get high together, bought ghost gummies. Took one at 7 p.m. Wednesday. Took another one 11 p.m. Wednesday because we weren't feeling anything yet. Immediately after taking the second one, we felt the effects of the first and realized we messed up.
But we didn't care at that point.
Immediately lost each other in our separate trips. Felt like the longest night of my life.
Slept through Wednesday night, pausing for both of us to projectile vomit all over the bedroom and wander aimlessly for food. Slept all the way through Thursday, including both our jobs. Slept through Thursday night, and finally Friday morning he walked to work because he was still too high to drive.
I left for a road trip Friday afternoon. A family road trip. I was high the entire way and shocked that my sister didn't notice. I am still, 9 p.m. on Saturday evening, high. We realized the bag said it's meant for people with experience or a high tolerance. I'm a lightweight. Boyfriend and I are much more clear-headed but both still struggle to stay awake and focus. Both of us have agreed we'll never do it again. Neither of us think we'll feel anything but high ever again. Too long did not read. Boyfriend and I thought it'd be fun to get high for a night and instead greened out and slept for 2 days.
Now he's at home pushing through a 10-hour shift and I'm on vacation with my family, both of us fighting for our lives to stay awake and seem sober 3 days later.
Take a look at your phone. You sure it hasn't just been 30 minutes? Jesus. How many mg did it take to knock you out for days? For the ghost gummies they usually recommend that you take a quarter of 1 gummy, so basically they took 8 doses. I think you might have been high and gotten food poisoning.
The fact that you just took 2 edibles, without thinking about or mentioning the dosage is wild. I'm guessing 200,500 mg based on the fact that you're still feeling the effects 3 days later?
It will wear off and you will feel completely normal again.
It's fine if it isn't for you, but if you reconsider your stance later, taking 2.55 mg to start would give you a fraction of the sensation and wear off in a few hours.
This happened to me with 400 mg THC brownies, as someone with very little experience. You might not still be high. Just dissociating, which feels very similar and has happened to me after accidentally greening out. For me it lasted about 4 days after getting high, and then stopped. Make sure to drink lots of water and exercise, move around a bit. You'll be okay, it won't last forever. Today I fucked up by getting pickpocketed in Paris and landing in jail. It was supposed to be a dreamy Parisian afternoon, meandering through Montmartre with visions of croissants and quaint cafes dancing in my head. Suddenly, reality snapped back with a jolt. My wallet was gone, swiped clean by a nimble-fingered thief. Driven by a surge of adrenaline and anger, I made a split-second decision that would haunt me. Ignoring all logic, I chased after the culprit through bustling streets, dodging pedestrians and ducking into narrow alleyways. Miraculously, I caught up to him and confronted him, demanding my wallet back. What followed was straight out of a cliché action movie. Heated words and broken French, a scuffle, and yes, even a baguette swung in defense. Though, sadly, not by me. In the chaos, I managed to wrestle my wallet back, but my victory was short-lived. Before I could savor my triumph, the sound of police sirens shattered the scene. Turns out, vigilantism isn't exactly smiled upon in the heart of Paris. Amid confused explanations and awkward language barriers, I found myself in a cramped jail cell, surrounded by fellow tourists and disgruntled locals. Hours later, after much bureaucratic ado and a crash course in French penal code, I was released with a warning about the perils of taking justice into my own hands. As for the pickpocket, well, he likely slipped away to pick another day. Lesson learned the hard way. Next time, I'll secure my belongings and leave crime fighting to the professionals, or at least refrain from swinging baked goods in the pursuit of justice. Too long did not read. Got pickpocketed in Paris,
chased down the thief like a wannabe action hero. Ended up in a French jail cell for my troubles.
Lesson learned. Let the professionals handle crime, and watch out for baguette-swinging Frenchmen. Something similar happened to me in Barcelona, and I'm from Catalonia, I'm not a foreigner.
A thief snatched my friend's purse and I ran on pursuit.
I was faster so I quickly catched him. Took the purse by force, I was way bigger, and the MFER tried to punch me. I didn't hesitate. I punched him back. Hard. 10 minutes later I was having a heated conversation with the Mossos d'Esquadra because the thief wanted to press charges for assault. After 1 hour and missing the appointment that made me go to Barcelona, I was able to walk free. But they told me that next time I should just let the thief go with our belongings. And the thief? They were apologizing to him and finally he left still shouting his indignation to the skies. That was the day I lost all hope on my country. This isn't vigilantism. Getting your belongings back and defending yourself is a basic human right. I am actually grateful that I've used ChatGPT enough to be able to spot these AI-generated stories, for now.
But soon enough, they're not going to be this obvious.
And I am dreading that day.
The way those AI overuse shiny words and write in such a weird style somehow made me cringe.
I don't get it. What's the "today I fucked up" part? You handled the situation in the best way possible and you've managed to get your wallet back. The police did what they do best, which is being a nuisance.
Compare the outcomes: a few hours in a cell versus days, if not weeks, of getting your documents and cards restored, not to mention lost cash. If I were you, my only regret would have been the unbroken fingers of a certain individual.
Although then you'd have to contend with a likelihood of a much longer stay behind bars. AI-generated crap.